Hello and welcome to today's Hustle Castle video on the Titans, also known as the Tower area. This guide will be covering the most basic and advanced tips I can think of as of right now, but if anything gets missed, please be sure to leave your thoughts down below as this can still help many players out and the top rated comment will be pinned to the top. Moving on to what you're going to be seeing here today, and this will be today's lineup of topics. Firstly, I'll briefly introduce the basics of the Rift Room and what you need to know about your Titans. After that, talking about how you should play the tower and what things you need to look out for. Then talking about the store and what not to waste your points on. And finally, the last bit of my video will be on the tips for all level players from beginners to the most advanced. But for anyone who has been playing for a while, I would recommend skipping to the third topic, and that'll be on the store, or ideally this time here, as most of the next parts are things you know already. But anything else from the store section onwards could still be worth taking a look at in case you overlooked something simple. So let's start off with the introduction of the Titans, and this will be mainly for anyone new to the game or anyone that's coming back to Hustle Castle since the update was released. Hustle Castle have added a new room called the Rift Room, and this is where your new Titan squad will be. Titans will be completely separate from your main squad, except when you unlock Patreons, but we'll come back to this later on. Unfortunately, I can't show you this next part, but once you have built your Rift Room, it will forcibly make you pick between 3 choices, and these choices will be your starting squad, but you don't really need to worry about it. Just pick whatever one looks good to you, because later on down the line you'll be changing your squad anyway. Once you're able to click on your Rift Room normally, the only 2 icons you really need to worry about will be your Titan squad and the tower. For the most part, I think it's always best to click on the Titan squad icon first, as this will make it easier if you want to upgrade your squad in my opinion. So once you've clicked on your Titan squad, this is roughly what you will see with a slightly different squad. From here you can click on your current Titans to see things like levels, stats and abilities. This may all seem quite confusing, but let me explain on what you should be looking at for the most part of why you're here. At the very top by the name, it will tell you what type of fighter this Titan is. So for this instance, it's an Earth fighter. And at the top left, it will tell you which types of fighters are better suited against each other. So in this case, not only will this Earth fighter deal more damage to Water Titans, but it will also take less damage from them as well. This will be crucial to winning certain rounds, especially if your Titans are at lower levels than your opponents. This may all seem quite confusing, but let me explain on what you should be looking at for the most part of why you're here. At the very top by the name, it will tell you what type of fighter this Titan is. So for this instance, it's an Earth fighter. And at the top left, it will tell you which types of fighters are better suited against each other. So in this case, not only will this Earth fighter deal more damage to Water Titans, but it will also take less damage from them as well. This will be crucial to winning certain rounds, especially if your Titans are at lower levels than your opponents. The next thing will be leveling up your Titans. Now you won't be able to do this yet until you've gone through some rounds in the tower, but I can show you what you can expect, so just bear with me and later on in this video it will start to make some sense. This is going to be very similar to upgrading your gems on your normal squad with dust, but in this case it will be called sparks. And the higher the level the Titan becomes, the more sparks you'll need to upgrade them further. But once you have reached your max level on the left, and which for yourselves it should be level 20, you will need to upgrade your Titan's Ascension to increase their total max level. And to upgrade your Ascension, you will need to find, buy or collect essences for that particular Titan type, and for this Titan it would look something like this. And the total amount you will need to collect will go up after every upgrade, and eventually you will need to upgrade your Rift Room to extend your levels even further. All of these things I'm mentioning will be found in the tower store, but you can also get these from completing levels in the tower or as a prize for your clan after the clan war season. The last 2 things to cover on this page will be the seals and abilities tab. The abilities are the simplest to explain, so I will start with that. All you need to do is collect these elemental stones throughout playing the tower. Again, you can purchase these or gain them through clan wars rewards, but I wouldn't bother trying to pay for these blue ones and rather save up or pay for other upgrades or even purchase the purple elemental stones for the future. One thing to note is you can't just upgrade these to their max level right from the get-go. You will be required to upgrade your Titan's main level before you can continue upgrading these, like you can see here. The types of elemental stones you need will be based on what rarity fighter you have, so again the same as your items. If you have a blue fighter, you'll need blue elemental stones, and if you have a purple fighter, then you'll need purple ones, and so on to legendaries. Moving on to your seals, and this should be seen as another upgrade to your fighter's basic stats, like armor and weapons on your fighters. They will vary, but the ones I'm always looking to upgrade would be things that can increase your max health or damage, or allow you to deal extra damage to the preferred type of fighter and take less damage from them as well. To upgrade these, it's very simple. All you will need is this material called Titanite in a very similar way you would do with upgrading your main level using sparks. The one thing to remember though is once these seals are maxed out at level 20 for yourselves, you will need a certain amount of seal particles to push them past that level. It sounds a bit confusing, but all you need is the same picture and rarity to upgrade it once you have enough of them. Again, you can collect these in the same way you can with all other materials. Now we're moving on to the tower, and if this is your first time of seeing this or you just want to run through the basics again, let me show you now. This tower will be split into 3 categories, easy, hard and very hard, and as a rough idea of what to expect, you will need at least all of your rare fighters to reach level 75 to beat the very last level on easy, but luckily you will have a purple or epic on your side, so this will help you out massively if you're able to get them to that level as well. To complete hard, you'll need at least 5 purple fighters on level 75 with their seals and abilities maxed out for what they can be, but again by this point you might have level 100 blue fighters that can help you out in some cases. And finally, to complete very hard, you will need to have a full legendary team to stand any chance of winning, and even though this is just a guess for now, I really don't think 5 level 100 purples will be enough to complete this level. Now what do you get for doing these levels? Well, the main thing you'll be focused on will be getting these rift stones. These stones can buy everything you need from the store, including legendary items. And just as a slight recap, every level will earn you sparks for leveling up your fighters' basic stats and titanites for upgrading their seals, and even elemental stones every now and then to upgrade their abilities. You will also notice the higher you go up on the tower, the better the rewards become, and so will your team after quite some time. But you'll also notice you'll start to earn seal particles to upgrade your titan seals to higher max levels. You'll also gain titan essences, which again can be used for upgrading your titan's ascension for again higher basic stat levels. These titan essences can unlock you fighters you might not even have yet. For instance, after playing the game for a week or two, I would go back to the titan squad and then click on Titan Collection at the bottom and see if you have any new titans ready to be unlocked and used in your squad. You can also see how many more titan essences you might need to unlock certain fighters. And in the end, once you're able to unlock your legendaries, you can start to work on your patronage at the Rift Room. These can only be used when you have legendaries and will require legendary elemental stones to upgrade them. These will have a big impact on your squad later down the line, and this is where the titans will actually affect your main squad, but only at this point. If you have any questions on the patronage section, then make sure you leave your questions down below. You can use this filter at the top, but I've never actually found this to be very useful because after a week or two you kind of know everything you need to know about the tower, at least with the basics that is. Anyways, back to the tower, you will also notice for the levels you haven't completed yet will earn you a first time bonus. So this is actually quite nice to see because it will help you improve your squad, but unfortunately again this is only for one time. Also, just to remember to complete as much of the tower as possible before the tower resets. This will be happening every 24 hours, and this really might not seem like much, but because you can only level up slowly, each day of completion will be crucial to making some gains. And finally, the last thing on this page will be the auto battle feature. This can only be used if you have already completed the levels, so this will mainly be used for people that have already completed most of the levels on any of the difficulties. I will have tips on how to optimize your fights and stand a better chance of winning against stronger opponents, but that'll be later on in the video. Also remember to hit that like button if you're enjoying this video so far, and stay tuned until the end to see what my plans are for the channel on this game. Let's now move on to the store. Now most of you who have clicked on this video would have probably dropped in at this point, so we won't be aimed at just beginners anymore, but there still will be some tips for new players in just a bit. Now I've already covered every type of thing in this video, so if you are unsure about anything, then you can either leave a comment down below or watch the video from the basics topic. Now once you've started out earning your rift stones, what should be the first thing you should do? Well, this will vary between each person, but I'll explain why I choose certain things and have a different approach in just a bit. To begin with, I would recommend buying whatever sparks you can afford to level up your 3 starting titans. This also goes for people that are further ahead. I'd always recommend to upgrade your titans you have right now rather than trying to unlock new ones. This way you can earn your rift stones sooner and more of them than rather going down the other route. For new people, once your squad is maxed out, I would then recommend going for rare titan essences until you can get yourself a full 5-man team, and then just keep repeating the process of upgrading them with sparks. You will get to the point where you keep struggling, and once you feel like that, you should start purchasing titanites instead of titan essences, so you can level up your seals until they're maxed out as well. Now my next tip would be for anyone who can already complete the easy tower section. From this point, I would stop trying to upgrade your rare titans even if they're not maxed out to level 100. And the reason for this is because eventually your rare titans won't be of any use to your team, and all the stones you spend on them would have been wasted and could have been put elsewhere. You basically want to find a good balance with pushing your team to complete new levels, but then finding the right time to stop pursuing them and aim for stronger titans. And naturally, from completing the last 9 levels on easy, will start to earn you purple titans anyway. Once you complete the easy tower section, you basically have 2 options from here. You either go straight for legendary titans or focus on your purple ones. The option I chose to go for was for epics, and all I can say is it does take a long time before you can start aiming for legendaries, so this will be up to you. But even if you aim for legendaries at this point, you would have to make it all the way to level 25 on hard before you start earning legendaries for free. So either route is going to be expensive and both of them will take a long time to improve. So out of the two options, I would personally work towards the purple titans in the same manner as I've mentioned for the rare titans, and just take your time with a bit more progression on levels compared to going the other route. So if you want to focus on your epics at this point, then I would say that's the right thing to do, and I would keep doing this until you can complete the hard tower section every single time. After completing both easy and hard sections, you'll start to earn yourself loads of rift stones, and from this point then I would go for legendary titans. If you do want to go for legendaries earlier though, then I actually have a better route for you in my opinion, but this will cost diamonds, and that is to do with the 500 diamond costing chest. All three of these chests can be seen as an exact guide of what you should be buying them for. The 100 diamond costing one is going to be primarily for rare titan essences and seals, the 250 diamond chest is primarily for purple titans and materials, and lastly the 500 chest is for legendary materials. The 500 diamond chest will massively speed you up from the beginning, and if you're already someone who does portal diamonds or does other YouTubers diamond giveaways, then this chest can gain you legendaries really quickly, at least for the first 20 levels or so. Even then it will take some time to level them up, but if you can at least complete the easy and normal section of the tower, then you should be able to level them up fairly quickly. The things I would avoid buying would be the specific titan essences, like this one here, as I find the value for them is terrible in comparison to the random options. The other things to avoid would be buying the 100 diamond costing chest. I know that I said it can earn you rare and even some epic titans from time to time, but these will be a waste of diamonds much sooner than the other options when you replace those fighters down the line. And lastly, don't buy legendary titan shards until you can at least beat level 30 on easy. I know this may seem tempting, but without spending diamonds, it would take you such a long time in earning them and even longer to level them up if you can't complete the easy section first. We can now move on to the tips section of the video, and these are things I've picked up from playing and hopefully these will help you out as well. But if you do think of something that I haven't actually mentioned, then make sure to leave a comment for the level of player and what they should be doing in your opinion. So let's start off with the basics in case some of you have overlooked something, and some of these will be recaps in case you have skipped to this section of the video. Number 1 is to always have a varied squad. Don't just max out your only purple fighter and think that will be enough to complete the levels. You will need to have a varied squad on taking on different kinds of opponents, so make sure to level up everyone evenly. Number 2, focus on your team around what the enemy is using. Until you become overpowered, each next level will be harder than the last, so see what kind of fighters the enemy are using and make sure to have the best counter to them. Number 3, make sure to max out your titans that you already have before going after new ones in the beginning. It's always better to earn more rift stones consistently than trying to earn new titans and have them at level 1. Number 4, to begin with, don't buy legendary essences or seals unless you plan to go down the diamond route or until you can complete easy tier every single time. And lastly for beginners, number 5, remember to always repeat a fight multiple times if you lose, and ideally do this at least 3 times. This is because the game works on chance with critical hits and abilities, so you could be surprised and win a fight after a couple of attempts with a bit of luck on your side. Let's now move on to the intermediate tips, and this will be for players that have been playing the game for a while but still might not know all the essential things. Firstly, clan wars are going to be more important than you think, and it's not just because of the Titan waypoints with the bonus blue stars as well. It will be because if you can win these Titan waypoints, you'll gain what's called a protector's chest. These will be great in earning you better Titans as you go along, so it will be crucial to deploy as much as you can, especially with your Titan squad. Second on the list will be breaking down materials in your inventory. This is a tip here because quite a few people might not even know about this. In a very similar way to breaking down legendaries for legendary shards, you can actually break down your materials for either sparks or titanites. This would be great once you're ready to move on to your next tier of fighters, or if you're desperate to level up someone or something to the next level, then this can help you do that. Thirdly, once you're able to complete the hard section of the tower, then I would recommend start earning yourself some legendary titan essences, and forget about your purples from this point. This is what you should do in my opinion, because I've tried to continue my purples to level 100, but that doesn't seem to be doing great for the very hard tier, so I would save yourself the time and rift stones and just start earning yourself towards legendaries. Moving on to the advanced section, and there won't be many tips here, but at least these should help some people out. Firstly, your squad setup is going to be really important, and not just with how the fight starts. What you should do is actually watch the fight and mainly look at your tanks for now. If for example you notice your Earth Fighter is fighting a Fire Titan, then on your squad setup you can swap the position with a Water Titan if you have one in play, for example, for a better starting chance. So on the levels that you're struggling on, play the fight first with your best squad and move them about on the squad lineup to better suit your opponents. This also goes same for your ranged, but that will be aimed at the enemy tanks. Secondly, if you haven't noticed this, then this will seem amazing. Just like your specializations, you can synthesize elemental stones for higher rarity ones. This can be great for people who want to earn more legendaries by synthesizing lower rarity ones and working your way up from there. This will also be great for people who are finished with their rare titans and just want to put their rare stones into good use for epic ones and eventually your legendaries. Right, that's the end of the tips as well. I really hope that this has been helpful to a lot of you, and again please leave any comments down below of anything that I may have missed, and the most popular will be pinned to the top. So you might be wondering what is happening with the channel. Well, this will be my last Hustle Castle video for about the next 1 to 2 months. I've been making videos on this game for around 2.5 years, and it's time for me to take a good break and come back with more enjoyment for the game. So I want to be absolutely clear, I will be coming back to this game in around 1 to 2 months, but this will be the last one for now. It's been great having so many of you on the channel asking questions and joining in with the polls, and make sure to keep sending in your comments on even videos that are 6 months old. I know I don't get a lot of time to answer back, but when I do, I usually do a chunk at a time, so your comments still could be seen. I know a lot of you don't watch my other gameplay videos, but I would highly recommend the A Plague Tale series that I've been doing very recently. It's not often I recommend a game to watch or even play, but I found this one to be a real enjoyment, and I know you will too if you do give it a chance. And if you prefer to be hearing someone else's voice other than just myself, then the Dying Light 2 series also has a lot going for it in terms of story and just how silly me and my girlfriend can be. Anyways, thank you all again for watching my Hustle Castle videos for all this time, and I look forward to seeing all of you in the future on this game.